Oh man, I'm thinking this might be easier said than done. Good afternoon, guys. As you just saw, I got some O2 sensors that need to be replaced on the 2013 Ford Focus. I say maybe easier said than done because the upstream O2 sensors proven to be a little difficult to get unplugged. The downstream O2 sensor has a connection just like any other O2 sensor I've ever seen. Looks just like that. That's a normal O2 sensor to me. But this upstream one, so the one before the catalytic converter, looks like this, and it has plugs, and it plugs into this awkward port, and it's weird. I have never, mind you, this is the newest vehicle I've ever owned, 2013, but I've never seen an O2 sensor plug look like that. And there's no obvious, like I'm looking at it on here, and there's no obvious spot to like push down a clip and unclip it. We'll figure it out. We gotta keep trucking on it. Alright, to give you guys a look down in there, right there is the upstream, the blue wire guy. You can't get to it with the wrench because this little plate's blocking it, which is for, looks like maybe a 13 millimeter screws. There's the other two right there. And then all you gotta do is you gotta get this unplugged, and then you can pull this up over the wiring, get the wrench on there, twist it off. Easy peasy. This guy is gonna be extremely easy. All I gotta do is just reach down in there with the wrench, and that one should come straight out. Again, knock on wood, because you know I'm looking at it saying, that'll be easy, and then it'll probably be the most difficult one. But first we're gonna get these 4 bolts out. Alright guys, as you can see, get that pull out of the way, that's the cover for the header and the catalytic converter. I sprayed a little bit of penetrator on there, some WD-40, try and get them loosed. I got on both of them. And then we have this tool right here. It's nice, it's got the curve so you get down in there and it gives you a nice angle to push against or pull against, whichever. Pulling will give you a bit more torque in this tight space that we have going right here. I figured out how to disconnect that. You guys, I'm sure you saw that. It is disconnected on this sensor right here, that little pink one I'm wiggling. On the back side, there's a little clip. Trying to get my thumb on it. Right here where my thumb is, there is a little clip, and you just have to push it. It was hard for me to see that because there's a little metal plate right here. There's a little metal plate right there that sits up against, so it was hard for me to see that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start wrenching on that to get both those guys out. Alright guys, one down, one to go. As I said earlier, I need to knock on wood because the one I said is going to be easier to get out. This is the upstream that I thought was going to be difficult. That downstream one after the catalytic converter, I really thought that one was going to be extremely easy, and that one's proven to be pretty difficult on me. So I need to keep knocking on the wood because, you know, it didn't work. So that one's out. We're working on this next one. Hopefully we can get out of here soon. And success on the downstream. Haha. Alright guys, and I'm going to show you a quick difference here in the old and the new. So these two guys over here are the old. You can tell a nice good amount of black soot and everything. Carbon buildup. And right here, this guy is the downstream, the new downstream. You can tell by the black wire. And then right here, the upstream, the blue wire guy. That's the new one for that. Alright, we're going to get those on, and we'll probably have to unplug the battery. I believe it's for about 5 minutes or so to let the computer reset and clear the check engine code. And then we'll start her up and see how it We'll see, make sure that the check engine light has gone away, and then we'll probably take it around the block. Alright guys, everything's back together. Bolts are back in. Those are 10mm bolts actually, down there too. You can see all the way in the back, that one's plugged in. This guy's plugged in. Both connections are on. Right here is the downstream, right here is the upstream. Alright, so that's all good. We're going to, you know what, I don't think I'm going to unplug the battery. I'm just going to start it, see what it does. If the check engine light stays on, then I might go ahead and unplug the battery. Well, let's see. Alright guys, so we started her back up. It's still got the check engine light there. I've debated back and forth on going and actually unhooking the battery, letting it reset. Just the way the battery's set up on this, it's kind of tucked up under the dash, so I don't really want to mess with it. I'm fairly confident it will reset itself. It's, you know, it didn't really drive bad before. I don't think it'll drive bad hereafter. I'll go ahead and take it for a spin now, but the whole point of doing it is just I want to try and improve the gas mileage that we get as much as possible. You can see right here we get 27.7, give or take. You know, as long as I'm not lead footing it, we can keep it up that high. But when we first got the vehicle and there was no check engine light, nothing like that at all, we were up in the 30s. I think we were doing about 32 miles per gallon. So I would like to see it end up getting back to that point. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take it for a little spin around the block and see what she does. One thing I want to point out on new Ford vehicles, one thing I truly love is this, my Ford color, I think might be what it's called. It's really neat. There's lights in the footwells as well as lights right here under the door handle. Of course, when you open it, it changes colors. It turns red, letting you know that it's open. And when you turn the vehicle off, it turns blue, just like a generic Ford blue. Same with the footwells. And you shut it, it turns back to your color. It's real neat. There's purple, white, light blue, a dark blue, green, orange, red, and back to purple. You can even dim it if you'd like. Good low, super high. It's a pretty neat feature that I like on these new Fords. I know on the Focus, or on, not the Focuses, on the newer Mustangs, here on the gauge cluster, you can actually adjust what your dial, like what your numbers and the ticks here, what color those are, what color the background is, and that's something that's, I find really neat. All in all, I'm not disappointed though. It's a very nice, the Ford Focuses are very nice setup. I like them very much. Alright guys, so go ahead and take her out for a cruise. Give her a little here. Man, she handles that throttle really well. All this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder, and it's for what it is, I truly like this engine. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers, but I believe it's 140 horsepower. This vehicle's not super light either. I believe it's like 3,500. Maybe a little lower. I'm probably wrong on that, but we have that Infinity that's outside the garage, and that's a 2-liter as well. It's an SR20, and I believe that has about 120, 130 horsepower. And that vehicle barely weighs 3,000 pounds. I think it's right at 3,100. So the way this accelerates, I feel like is on par with that SR20, which I feel is pretty impressive for what this is. You know, it's a family car, it's a grocery getter. But all in all, I respect excuse me, I respect what it is, and again, for what it is, I think it does a pretty nice job. Alright guys, so we're gonna wrap it up on that. The check engine light's not off right now. I'm hoping after driving it for a day or two, it'll end up going off. If worse does come to worse, I'll unplug the battery and let it reset itself, but I don't think we're gonna get to that situation. Alright, and as always guys, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Please comment. Let me know what you do like, what you don't like about what I'm doing here. Things you'd like to see in the future, with both cars, with the Focus, with the F150, or I guess I could say with all three cars with the Infinity. I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and try to get the alternator fixed on that and get that running. From there, who knows? From there we may make it a project car, or from there we may sell it, get a little bit extra money to go towards the truck or go towards the Focus. But that's all yet to be determined. Nothing's set in stone on that. What is set in stone is that I want to fix the alternator just to get the car back into its reliable running state. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you later. Alright guys, I'll give you a little bonus clip here of the Infinity. Although it does run, it doesn't run for a prolonged period of time because of the alternator, and there's currently no coolant in it because the elbow's not hooked up. So I don't ever let it run for a long time, but I do let it run occasionally. I don't want the engine to just sit and sit and sit and sit and sit. You know, I want it to run a little bit here and there. Alright, let's crank it with the fuel pump prime. Maybe. This is always... There it goes. Let's do one more time. There it goes. Let's start it. This engine is loud. The exhaust is loud. The muffler rusted off on it, so it's honestly one of my favorite sounding 4 cylinders I've ever heard. Let's hear it. There it goes. Now it says 82,000 miles, but that does not work, so that is highly inaccurate. Look at that. It sits and idles like a dream.